is why I'm so excited to introduce today's speaker for our audience engagement session. She's a work skills speaker and creator, and she has worked with brands like Amazon, Chewy, Hims, XL Insurance, Abercrombie & Fitch, and so many others. She is the soft skills expert I wish I had, and I will definitely be taking notes during the session. Please give a round of applause for Grace McCarrick.
How are we doing? 4 p.m. We're almost out, right? We're almost done. I'm a little salty that Meg and Kelly came right before me because I was really excited listening to theirs like this backstage, and I couldn't see them, so I wanted to be more involved in that conversation than I was. Okay, who's a little bit nervous about the concept of interactive session? No? We feel good? We're excited for it? Okay, I didn't know again, Meg and Kelly were doing a redefining. I guess that this is just part of it all. We're redefining everything. So redefining excellence is what we're talking about today. Is work just feels really confusing, right? How do I succeed? How do I help other people succeed? In a company where 35,000 people have applied for a job, like how can I find success? And there's so much information, and I feel like particularly now as a consumer of a lot of work information, there's so much information that's a bummer. So really trying to think about, okay, how can we look at this from a different angle and find some other ways to approach and really find what success, what excellence means for each of us. That's what we're gonna be talking about. Anyone in here Virgo? Ooh, okay, we got a couple. Anyone in here oldest daughter? Oh, okay. So I find Virgo and oldest daughter to be very similar types of energies, which is I want to know what's happening, at all times. I want to be really clear about it. So I don't like to bury the lead. What this conversation today will be about is you need to be working on soft skills. You need to master soft skills. You need to have your team master soft skills. And if you don't already realize it, social media is a huge part of the environment of your company. It is educating your people at all levels on what work should be like. And if you aren't understanding what the education is and you aren't course correcting it, you're hugely missing out. Okay, so soft skills, social media. We feel good? Good, okay. I liked what Kelly and Meg said about dream job. Anyone in here, okay, we're gonna go believe in dream job, don't believe in dream job. Believe in dream job. Great. Don't believe in dream job? Okay. Anyone watch Armchair Expert with Dax? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, he says something, so this is Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell. Kristen Bell, famous for Frozen, the prince, the princess? Yeah, okay. So he says something about soulmates, which I think we tie romantic partners and dream jobs and these kind of things. We put them like, I have this one thing that's right for me on a pedestal. What he says is, I don't believe in soulmates. I believe that you find someone that works and you make them your soulmate, and that's what I believe about dream job. I think you find things that work and you make it your dream job, you make it your dream career. There's not one thing that is gonna work for you, and on the positive side, there's not one thing you're missing out on. Can we vibe on that? I don't know? Yeah, cool, okay. Okay, so I know you guys did a couple of surveys today. I'm incredibly analog. I'm like pen and paper all the way. Can you humor me and answer a couple questions? And I'm gonna write your answers down so I can get a feel for who we are in the room. So I think I remember from the survey it was most of you were hybrid. Who's hybrid? Okay, most of you. All right, who's remote? Okay, very few. Who's full-time in office? Okay. So we're hybrid, full-time, and then remote. Okay, who's less than 5 years in their career? Okay, good chunk. Anyone still in school? Okay, a couple. Who's 5 to 15 years into their career? Okay, kind of equal-ish there. Is anyone really good at statistics? Not me. No, it's like equal-ish, those two, right? Okay. Who's more than 15 years into their career? Okay, cool. Who is client-facing? Okay. Who is purely internal stakeholder-facing? Okay. I feel like half-ish. Okay. Who is happy with the professional development offered to them at their job? Oh, good. That's great. Anyone unhappy? Anyone feel like there can be more? Less. Okay, cool. Good. More happy. Okay, also, who's managing people? About a third, half-ish. We got some like dotted line too, counts. Yeah, okay. And who's on TikTok? Yeah, okay, okay. Who's on Instagram Reels? More, okay. Anyone on Facebook? Not me, okay. Okay. Okay, so for me, I'm not big on intros. Well, we can talk about this later. I don't like to do them very long. Basically, I started out in corporate insurance. Anyone in corporate insurance in here? Nice, cool. I started as a claims data analyst. Very glamorous pathway, highly recommend. I was in corporate insurance. I moved into startups. I got really into culture. That led me to the path I am here, which is soft skill workshops. I've been doing this for about 3.5 years. I started posting about it on social about 3 years ago. I started posting about it on social vehemently with vigor about 1.5 years ago. And so now this actually has changed. I'm in a growth spurt online. We love those. So I have about 75,000 subscribers, followers across TikTok and LinkedIn. I get between 1 million and 4 million views on my content every week, which is the right amount of people to tell you if they think you should have bangs. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I have, because of that, I have this research partner, Achievers Workforce Institute. They study thousands of workplaces and people around the world. And so I have this really wide view of work. I put the DMs here. My friends text me, the DMs, like every place I go, I'm talking about work. I'm obsessed with this topic. People know I'm obsessed with this topic. I'm endlessly talking to people. I have executive groups I meet with once a month. I'm talking, pitching and talking to potential clients. I'm talking to big decision makers, call it like C-suite execs, founders, at least once a week. And then all sort of other ends of the spectrum throughout the week. I'm just constantly talking about work. So I have this big, wide view, and I'm able to see patterns, and I'm able to see gaps. And so that's where a lot of this will come from. And these are some of the companies. This is really the first year I've been able to put like cool logos up, so please enjoy them. They're a very hard one. Okay, couple more questions for you guys. I'm gonna go through these, although I know you can read. I want you to raise your hand if you have heard anyone around you say this in the last month. You can do it if you felt it too, but more if you heard anyone around you, okay? I'm not gonna swear on here. Work feels kind of bad and I don't really know why. Okay. Can you guys raise hands a little higher? Are we feeling nervous about raising our hands? I can't see this very well. Okay. I wish I was retiring tomorrow. I don't know how to succeed in this organization. I don't know how to succeed in this industry. I feel like I was sold a lie about work. My team feels like everything is happening to them, not for them. It's kind of victim-y. I am digitally overstimulated. Me too. I say this every day. I feel like I'm the only person who gets anything done. Who feels like that? I feel isolated in my frustration. Okay. And then the classic, Kim, sorry, this got a little template, funny. Classic Kim K. No one wants to work anymore. Yeah? Who's heard that? Okay. Okay. This is an everyone problem. So this is not just limited to, I mean, as you can see by the hands raised, this is not just limited to certain groups of people, certain generations, certain demographics. Work is frustrating for everyone. This is an everyone solution, but this is an everyone problem. Okay. Luckily, the solution is not that complicated. That's sort of my sell here. You guys ruined it by being a little bit excited about your own professional development, but let's just pretend you need more of that. That's really the sell is, for me, soft skills change a lot of this. Having better soft skills for yourself, having better soft skills in your team does change a lot of the way you feel about work, particularly middle managers. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk through why work does not feel excellent right now. We are going to talk a little bit about the future of excellence. And I know Dan did an awesome future of work presentation. I was listening to that. And then we're going to see who's feeling brave today for the interactive piece. Okay, cool. Anyone in here like fully extrovert, spotlight, ex-theater kid, feel really good about participating? No, okay. Oh, we got one hand, okay. Okay, why work does not feel excellent right now? So one of our single biggest challenges in work right now is that a lot of stuff feels like people should just know it. So there's a lot of frustrations that are happening that are implied, implicit. I don't know why they don't get it. I don't know why they just don't know this. Like we're hoping that people read our minds, or we're hoping people were just born with some qualities. Does that resonate with you guys? Like why don't they just know it? And there's a lot, we just have a lot of moving factors now. So two of the big problem areas, and I say this lightly, who's Gen Z, 96 and on? We got a good chunk? Okay, so two of the big tension point areas that headlines love to talk about, TikTok loves to talk about, let's call it remote work, Gen Z. Can we agree those feel like two tension point areas? Okay, so I like to talk through some explicit ways that create situations for these to be frustrating. And then you put it out there, you get it out in the open, and then you can solve for it. So for remote work, I am not a remote work fan. There's not that many of you here doing full-time remote. I assume you feel that way or your companies feel that way. I'm just not a full-time remote fan, especially for young people. But because of that, and I'll get crucified on the internet if I take that stance really hard, but because of that, I do a lot of research on people who really like remote work and companies who've built it and been running remote work for 20 years, just so I can, maybe I'll be persuaded one day. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm open to it. So there's two amazing books. Wait, did I tell you guys about the PDF? No, okay. There's gonna be a QR code at the end of this presentation. Click on it, put your email in. I will send you a PDF with all the details and all the clickable references for everything I put in this presentation. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, I didn't understand the book title. It'll all be in there. Okay. So there's two books I really like for remote work. In office, that's why I have it in the PDF, because I don't always get it. And then long distance leader. What they talk about are there are specific things that are, again, all implied that we don't talk about that have created remote work environments just accidentally, right? So trust, we don't talk about trust tactically. We talk about trust in these big, values on the walls type of things. Trust, when you are not in front of someone's face, and there's like a biological reason why someone's face makes this a different situation for you, trust is actually really challenging to build and really easy to break remote. And then what happens remote is that you don't really know that it's broken until it's too late. Has anyone had a client experience maybe like this remote where you're kind of like, what happened? No? Lucky or talented. Okay, it's fairly common. So that's happening. And then tone is, research shows us very sadly that we all completely overestimate our ability to gauge tone in emails that we are sending and then emails that we're receiving. So we've got two massive blind spots here, which is we've got a variable trust factor that we're not always sure where it is. And then when we're communicating with people, and I'm particularly thinking about clients, but it could be your own team remote, we're not really judging the tone that accurately. So unless you're creating different ways of communicating, for example, like you have a quarterly meetup or twice yearly meetup, or like there's something else you're doing, you're just at the whim of how everyone's interpreting all these signals 2D. It's not great. Okay. Bank of Goodwill. Anyone heard anyone on the internet talk about Bank of Goodwill? It's a very internet-y term. But basically it's the idea that, okay, what's your name? Gomati? Yeah. Okay, Gomati and I work together. We are riding the elevator to work every single morning. We could like get the same train. We're up, getting our coffee, chatting, and she's talking about her sister's wedding, and I'm talking about my dog was sick, and then talking about her birthday party, and I'm talking about this new project I'm working on, and we get to know each other. We build this goodwill just by nature of sort of being around each other. Then we're in a meeting, and I say something that pisses you off, and you're like, but I know Grace. That's okay. We've built up this bank of goodwill, so you draw out of that bank of goodwill and say, you know what? She probably didn't mean it like that. It takes 3 months not being in person together for that bank to deplete to nothing. And without being in person, you don't automatically add to it. That's automatic adding. We're not making any effort. We're just taking the elevator to work, right? So that's also something we don't talk about at all, which is that goodwill extended to each other. Who's had an absolute, just like silent, passive-aggressive fight with someone over Slack, over a remote meeting? I definitely have. Yeah, okay. Attention fragmentation is a super interesting one. So there's this research that was done, and my phone's right here, so I haven't learned this well yet. Testing cognitive and intellectual capacity. So really ability to, have for your brain to work. Very, very simply. Phone in front of you, visible. Phone in your bag. Phone out of the room. When do you think people have the most cognitive capacity? Out of the room. I know, doesn't that suck? And when the least? In front of you. So we have to think of our phones as just like leaking our intellectual capacity. Sometimes if I'm in a smaller group, I like to have everyone put their phones away. Don't worry, I will not do that to you. But it actually, you will remember things better. You will pay attention better. You will retain better. I retain and remember. Clearly my phone's visible. But this is something like remote, everyone's phone's on them all the time. So 20 years ago, people were used to having 80 to 90% of someone's cognitive attention and cognitive capability. Now that's much, much less. Particularly if you're in an environment where everyone's phones are just on the table, or you're remote and someone's video's off and they're on their phone. You might get 5% of their cognitive capacity, right? Okay, so is anyone talking about that? This is all stuff we don't talk about, but is actively participating in hybrid remote work. Okay, and then I call this internet behavior. Internet behavior is a set of manners that we have all adopted from internet usage. Social media, comment sections, the way people talk in videos, the way people talk to each other online. Similar to the Slack fight. Has anyone seen something go down in a work IM channel where it's this really like passive aggressive calling out of someone that probably never would have happened? Yeah. Or a huge thing that I see in my TikTok comments all the time is people come in as anonymous bots and they make a declarative. So I put research behind my videos, I'm 60 hours a week on this stuff. I'm building up a lot of expertise. I put research in, someone comes in as an anonymous bot. They could be a 16-year-old in their mom's basement. I have no idea. And they're like, that's not true. This is true. It's like, who are you? What do you know? And I see that in work too. People think their opinions are so relevant just because they have opinions, because we're used to it. We're used to just putting our opinion out there. And that's actually, I feel like, a disservice we've done our Gen Z, our younger people, is that you are so valid. You are relevant. Your opinion, not always relevant. It's hard to learn. No one tells you that, okay? And then Gen Z challenges. So Kelly and Meg mentioned this. 50% of Gen Z did not work for pay during high school. I actually don't think this is a bad thing. This is progress. This is called societal progress. People's parents killed themselves to make money so that they could go to soccer camp or theater camp or just, hang out with their friends or read books, whatever it is. That's a privilege that we got by progressing as a society. Now we're looking at a consequence of we have workplaces set up to receive 22, 23-year-olds who've worked for 6 years. Now we're receiving 22, 23-year-olds who've worked for 0 years. This is their first workplace. This is their first time getting up, going to the same place every day, having to equate, their money with the meaning, with how people treat them, with being the lowest man on the totem pole. Like, all that stuff is really annoying, and it's a lot less annoying when you're doing it at 16. Anyone who worked at 16, can you agree it's like an easier curve? Yeah. Okay, GPS, this is my favorite one to do. People who are in Gen Z have grown up with GPS at their fingertips, since they could remember. Since they were driving a car, they had GPS. When I learned to drive a car, my parents didn't let me listen to music, and I'm Virgo oldest daughter, so I was in the car by myself and I didn't listen to music because they told me not to. And I would tell people I just really like the sound of the clicker. Anyway, a GPS voice would have been nice too. So they've grown up with a GPS. They are used to receiving direct, explicit instructions for where to go in an explicit end zone. Here's where you want to get to. Here's the route that gets you there. Nothing at work is like that right now. If it ever was, it's not anymore. And so that's really challenging. That's really challenging for someone in that position, and that's really challenging for people managing those people. And then the underlying hum. This is a term I invented. It is a term I invented. But basically, it's this idea that on social media, we're going TikTok, we're going Instagram Reels, probably on Facebook, definitely on YouTube. There is this fervent anti-work, anti-capitalist bent. And what it says is work only exists to take from you. There's nothing you can get out of work that's valuable to you except holding your boundary against it. Your only purpose in life is to live your life. It's not to do work. Work takes away from that. Does anyone else see this? Yeah, you see this? I think it's such bad education. We're going to get into it. But you have a whole group of people who've never worked before, who are receiving 3 to 5 hours of this education about work, and then they come into work, and it's confusing. And can you blame them? And then on the other side, the manager side, all of these factors are brand new in the last couple years. So can you blame them? It's hard. It's confusing. And we don't talk about these things. So I like to put them out on the table. Okay, what all of this comes together to is intuitive soft skills are extinct. All the things that we thought, they're just going to know that. There's deeper reasons. It's kind of more boring, but when you move from a collectivist society to a more individualistic society, which I'm a huge fan of, you start to take away all those things that are intuitive or actually just bred in childhood and given to you in childhood, taught to you in childhood, and then reinforced. So, for example, my mom grew up in the Bronx in the 50s and 60s. Oh, I'm so sorry, 60s and 70s, she'll murder me. And when she was going down the street with her friends, if they misbehaved 5 blocks away, her mother got 5 calls every block until she got home, and she had 5 accounts of them misbehaving when she got home. There was just a completely different type of community environment for people. We don't really have that anymore. So all of that reinforcement of behavior doesn't happen. The only behavior that's getting reinforced is on the internet, and that is a crapshoot. Yeah, okay. So where my work comes in is somewhere between culture and learning and development. Does that make sense? Just go, we are here. So I go, we are here. I think this is really cute. Here is, oh, soft skills training. Can I go back again? Oh, yeah, okay. So I like to be clear about this because I'm not an HR person. I tried HR, I hated it. God bless the HR people. It's not the job for me. Human resources gets, a lot of this stuff gets dumped on them, when in reality, this is a culture problem and this is a training, a learning and development problem. And so the solution living between these two means the solution lives with every manager, every function, every head of every function, every person, C-suite, all the way down to the interns. This is an everyone problem that needs to be addressed. Everyone needs to take some responsibility for it. Okay, the other reason this is an everyone problem, so my research partner, remember I told you guys at the beginning? Yeah, Achievers? Okay, they did this amazing study on soft skills. Actually, if you guys get the PDF and you want their study on soft skills, just say that and then my team will send you that. So like if you get the PDF, you want this study, they'll send that as well. They did this really cool study this year on soft skills. And what they came to understand is that there's this massive mismatch in understanding. Almost 50% of HR people are like, yeah, we provide good soft skill training. We provide good soft skill development for our teams. 20% of people in the companies feel that way. So there is this really big gap in understanding what is good soft skill development. Okay, let's get into the future of excellence. Okay, I'm gonna blitz through this because I want to leave 30 minutes for the interactive part. Basically, as I mentioned before, big wide view, see patterns, see gaps. I personally think that there is so much opportunity in work right now. We've actually never had more opportunity, and despite what you've heard on the stage, we've never had more opportunity to build the exact type of career that's going to work for us, and sometimes from our couch. There is so much that you can do with what you have as compared to 10 years ago. And so I like people to understand a couple of the options that I think are on the table and a couple of the key points that will I guess, be involved in creating sort of excellent work and excellent employees, leaders, ICs, like whatever it is you want to be in the future. So we're talking about personal brand, the personality hire. Anyone know what a personality hire is? You know this from the internet? Yeah? Anyone see those videos? Yeah, really good. Okay, we're going to talk about jobs that don't exist yet, and we're going to talk about attention currency, and we're going to, again, talk about them really quickly. So for personal brand, we're just starting to get research around personal brand right now. I'm really bullish on this. I'm really bullish on this for people inside companies. Anyone have a professional personal brand? LinkedIn, TikTok? No? Okay. We're just starting to get research on people who are doing this. So anecdotally, what I'll tell you is I see people getting, you know, that what they were talking about on the panel about being able to stand out, that sort of spotlight that you want to get in where someone sees you and sees your value as opposed to sort of the 1,000 other people in line. Personal brand for me is the thing, and it's the thing everyone has access to. But what we're seeing is that when someone puts some attention to personal branding, they become instantly seen as more employable, which is great. What that does is then that changes and increases their own job satisfaction. So you've got a win-win here, which is you are getting seen in a more positive light by people who can make decisions about your career, and then you are much happier because of it. Not a bad set of reasons to try it, right? I know it's hard when you work in corporate. This is something, I'm gonna be at happy hour, we can talk. I have so many ideas for people to think about LinkedIn. I have someone on Gen Z, someone on TikTok in Gen Z that is a creator friend of mine, and we've been sort of doing a LinkedIn blitz for her. There are ways to do it without talking about confidential company stuff and without seeming like a weirdo. There are definitely ways to do it. So if you have any questions, we can talk about that. Okay. The personality hire. So the personality hire gets crucified on TikTok as being the person with, you know, all the personality and no skills. For me, when I'm in companies, I see that the personality hire are really the people who have amazing people skills and amazing technical skills. And they go really far. those are the people that outlast sort of the tumultuous times. 63% of US workers, as of last week, like Morning Brew posted this thing, think that soft skills are crucial. And this completely echoes what I see. I just had a video go massively viral for me. So I've got almost 10 million views across my platforms about soft skills. People are really focusing in on soft skills. This is a great lever to work with for your own career, for other people's careers. I like to think of it like personality. All right, a little catchy, okay. 63% of Gen Alpha will be in jobs that don't exist yet. So I don't know exactly what Alpha's cutoffs are. Does anyone know off the top of their head? They're still little. Let's call them like, anyone have Alpha kids? What are their ages? 18 months. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think I've heard it's like 2015, 2016. Okay, that makes sense. So they will all be in jobs that don't exist yet, which means that every year we are turning over into a world where new jobs exist that didn't exist the year before. Is anyone in a job that didn't exist 5 years ago? Can anyone tell me what they are? Population health as a pharmacist? Okay, that, I'm not quick enough to easily tell you why that didn't exist 5 years ago. Can you tell me why that didn't exist 5 years ago? Insurance changes how they pay doctors. Oh, cool, okay. Anyone else? You, shirt right here. Say it again. AI implementation, the buzzword of the season, right? So when we look at job trends, again, I think Dan said there's no way to know really exactly how things are going to go. But we look at sort of the future of job trends are going to be in AI, automation, and then digital platforms. People who do technology and do innovation really well talk about the key traits being to excel in these areas are adaptability and interest and ability to learn. These are soft skills. Those are not hard skills. It's not can you code. It's can you learn? Can you be resilient? Can you be adaptable? So I think if you're someone today who you're like, yeah, I might like to lead a team that's new and innovative and doesn't exist I might like to lead that team in 5 years. Today, be curious. Today, be learning. Today, be adaptable. Okay? And then attention currency. Anyone in social media? Oh, there's a lot of people in social media. What's you with is the gray? Yeah. I'm a social media specialist. Okay, so you speak attention currency. Anyone else? Someone over here? For yourself? Great. So you also speak views and likes and saves and things like that. Yeah, okay. So the reason why attention currency is so important, I'm living, breathing proof of this. $600 billion was spent on digital ads in 2023. When surveyed, 70% of consumers said they ignore them and went to content instead. Content is how all of this information is getting disseminated. So the better that you can be at even just looking at whatever platform you use and understanding what gets likes, what gets saved, what gets shared, what do those mean? What's the difference between saved and shared? What does that say about engagement? What are the comments like? What does that say about engagement? This ability to speak this, it sounds silly, right? How many millennials in here? This was a really hard block for me when I first started talking about my work on social media because I was brought up to be work, social media, separate. They could keep them so far from each other, right? Because your employer will see your Facebook page and be out. So it was a huge block for me to start talking about work on social media and start bringing my social media into my work. And so I think in that same way, it sounds very fluffy. It sounds very like, that's a Gen Z thing. That's not for me. To talk about social media, it's so important. And it'll create a cutting edge for you. Okay, so before we get into who's feeling brave, I'm going to remind you we are at the intersection of culture and learning and development, which means it's whose problem? Everyone's. Thank you. Okay, first you need to understand what you're up against. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier, this education on work, this 3 to 5 hours of education that your young people and frankly all of us are getting about work without any other sort of counter education or correction by the people we work for or trusted sources. So for those on TikTok, can someone explain to the rest of the room what a stitch is? Someone tell me what a stitch is? You, I'm going you. You know a stitch on TikTok? Oh, okay. Okay, anyone stitch? Please.
Yeah, it's when you see a particular TikTok and then you kind of override it. Oh, gee, I love the
Oh,
microphone.
fabulous. You're going to have to take that back from her really quickly.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. When you see a video and then override it.
Yeah, and you add your 2 cents.
So what it looks like is, I hope I'm not being redundant, but it looks like one video and then it flips to someone else. Why I want to explain is that I showed this to a bunch of people, including my mom, before I did this, and she was confused about one part. What I'm mostly going to show you is work talk advice that makes me like twitch. It is, I think, bad, at worst, chaotic at best work advice. And there's one thing where someone goes, come in early and leave late, and then there's a stitch of someone saying why you shouldn't do that. But I agree with the come in early, leave late. Just wanted to my mom wanted me to clarify that. I'm kidding. So I just want to show you what you're up against. So imagine for a second that you've never been in an office, you've never been employed, you don't know anything about work. Can we clear our brains like that for a second? Ish? Okay. Watch this video with that in mind.
Your team handed over something that's not complete. Why do we think this keeps happening? So I really need you to watch your tone because you sounded really angry. What the fuck here? This is the shittiest deck I've ever seen. Fix it. He's so assertive and that's so charismatic and
Okay, I want to talk about how not having a full-time job has made me like people.
Gotta be honest, I quit my corporate job that made me like $200,000 a year. And all I can think about is working like back of house at a restaurant. Like I truly think that like that's the only thing that will make me happy.
Set the shit, understand what's going on. Stop talking to me like I've been here and I know what's happening. Like,
Everyone's been asking for my take on quiet vacationing, and I'll tell you what, employees will stop quiet vacationing when you loud start paying a living wage. How does that sound? Does that sound?
To go on trips without your boss's permission. I was queen of this in 2021. I went everywhere, and I will explain how I did it, how I rationalized it, and how horrible it is to make employees feel like they need to disclose where they're going if they're remote working.
So I got fired from my job yesterday, and one of the reasons why is because I'm too efficient.
To keep pushing through with blind optimism, but it was like so soul crushing that 9 months in, I just had to wake up and be like, hey, is this the life you want to keep living? And the answer was like, no, I don't want to do this. So I had to leave for my own health reasons, ironically. And I've sadly...
Number one thing I think I got from 2 years at McKinsey that helped me land a director level role at 23 is literally this notion of developing BizRiz.
Organizations are typically run by men. They have the power positions, let's face it. And they look for a myriad of ways to tell you that they're not going to promote you.
If you're autistic and everyone at your job hates you because you are proficient and efficient at seeing problems and finding solutions.
You should be one of the first people in the office and one of the last to leave.
So corporations profit off of you doing this. There's 3 different techniques that corporations use on you almost every day.
How do you professionally say that sounds like a you problem?
I believe that falls within your scope of responsibility.
How would I professionally say my workload is so heavy, how are you possibly assigning me more things?
Can you share which of my existing tasks should be deprioritized?
So I've decided I'm going to start a new series called All the Awful Things My Boss Says to Me.
You know what I genuinely have a lot of PTSD from? Working in corporate.
Has anyone seen any of those videos before? Which ones? Here, you raise your hand right there. All of them? We must have the same feed. The how to say things in corporate. I actually hate those because I think it turns work into this robotic, inhuman experience. The girl who talked about BizRiz, we share a brand partner. She's really cool, but I think this is how I got a director level role at 23 is one of the reasons the internet for work education sucks. It's not really that realistic. Anyone else seen these videos? Okay. here's my question. Oh, thank you. My question's here. Are you good with this? Are you good with this being the education that people are getting about work with no counter-education, no context? This is how you think about work. Who's good with it? Do you feel pressured not to raise your hand? I'm not good with it. This is such a bummer. This does not reflect work as I know it. This does not reflect work as my clients hire me. I work with really corporate places. And I left corporate when I was 26 because I felt so suffocated by the environment. But I've since gone back in. Like, there's a lot of different stuff happening now. This is not reflective. This is not a true or full reflection of work. And I think it sets all of us up for failure. Okay, this is where my sleeves are already pre-rolled. This is where I really like to come in. This is where I like to shine. I teach against this. I teach soft skills, but I teach against this because I think it is such a massive part of our work environment that most people are blind to. Here's how I do it. So I told you I have an executive group that I meet with once a month, all senior executives in the insurance industry. Right now it's all women, but that's not always the case. And so these are notes from our meeting last month, our actual notes from the meeting. So one of the things they were talking about was someone just got a new, much senior role, like 400 people reporting up into them. How to tell people to do things without feeling like a nag. Has anyone in here? Yeah, felt that? Okay. Is being a senior leader actually just being a project manager? Yeah. So I'm getting input from people at all different levels of the spectrum. Then, when you're on TikTok and you do good content, and I'm going to not be that humble about it, when you're on Work Talk, you have to do good content or it doesn't go. No one likes this. You have to do good, relevant, interesting, smart content or it does not go. You get great comments. You get comments that are really smart, really interesting. I know you can't really read them, but I'm just hoping you'll feel the vibe. These are great comments. If you do something really, really right or really, really wrong, this happens. My phone explodes. And so I am learning with every video, and I do 3 videos a day. I've been doing that for about 10 months, 3 videos a day. I am learning real time which of my frameworks work really well, which of my approaches work really well, and which don't. And then I get to take those into teams. Frameworks that have been road tested by millions of people, and millions of people who, to our earlier point about opinions, don't hold their tongue. The DMs I get when I say something wrong, I take all that in. It helps refine this. So, the frameworks we're going to talk about have all been road tested. Formatting's off here. These are 4 lines. So it is how to be the person everyone wants to work with, discernment, next line, transitional leadership skills, next line, badass game. Did anyone look me up when they saw this? Isn't that such a rude question? I had this video go mega viral on discernment. Has anyone seen that video? Okay, sorry, it is interesting, mostly for the comments. There's like 4,000 comments in there. They're super interesting. People are talking about how they use discernment in their own life, how lack of discernment has held them back, whatever. If you're of a mind, it is interesting. But these are 4 frameworks, activities I'm working with right now. I want to run at least one of them with you. And I know already which one I want to run, but let me just poll the room just in case. So how to be the person everyone wants to work with is a workshop I've done with everyone from Amazon to people in Bain to law firms, run the gamut. Here's the idea. We do not know how to introduce ourselves effectively at work to make people want to work with us. We say things that we think are impressive, that we think other people want to hear. So I used to work in corporate insurance. When someone would come in for a new project, We'd all be in the room. They'd introduce themselves, pre-COVID, of course. And he would start talking and be like, so I majored in this, in college. I was like, brother, you are 62. We cannot start with college. Come on. We got to move that, but people are just doing what they think is impressive, right? What they think other people need to understand about them, but we have it all wrong. So I have a framework, and not to get all TikTok on you, but this makes you incredibly magnetic, incredibly compelling. If you can nail this, everyone wants to work with you. So I thought we maybe could run that framework and have some brave people come try it. We could do a discernment exercise. I think that's going to be annoying, and I ran our time long. I do have something called transitional leadership skills. We can talk about that. Later, like if anyone wants to talk about this at the happy hour. But basically, hold on, let me just reference my notes here. This is a workshop that's new to me this year. I'm running soft skills that help people transition from junior level to mid-senior level. And you have to master a certain soft skill under 10 years in your career. And then that soft skill has to transform. You've got to glow it up. And then have mastered that next version of the skill to be a more senior person. Does that make sense? Yeah, so for example, like diplomacy is the #1 soft skill. When I talk to executives, what do you want out of your young employees? For the love of God, please. Diplomacy. Diplomacy. The ability to read a room. Say what needs to be said. Don't say extra things. Don't sort of rile something up that needs to be riled down. Diplomacy. That's the under 10 years skill. Over 10 years, you need to not only be diplomatic, you need to be persuasive. So you need to not only communicate information to people, you need to convince them to think how you think. Does that make sense? Okay. And then the badass game, we're not going to do it. It takes too long. I don't have enough time. But it's basically, it's the idea that all of us walk around every day completely underestimating how much other people at work like, respect, value us. And so it causes us to do a second job, which is pretend to be someone we think other people want to see. And so we are constantly doing things that other people think are badass, that are cool, the way we hold ourselves, the way we talk about something, the way we solve a client issue. And so this is really fun to do in small group workshops where I'm really, really like type A Virgo about it. People have to say things in really specific ways, like, oh, you're so nice, oh, you're so funny. No, I don't care about that. I love the way that you handled that client. It was so interesting because that client's really difficult and I wouldn't know how to handle them. And that was really cool to see and I learned something from it. Stuff like that, right? We don't say that to each other too much. How good would you feel if someone said that to you? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do how to be the person everyone wants to work with. Let me ask you guys a question. So you come here to listen to speakers, to get a little info, to mingle with your colleagues, maybe to get out of work for the day. Does anyone come here to network? Oh yeah, okay, raise your hands high if you're trying to network. Okay, fabulous. This actually works really well in a networking context. Who's feeling brave? Oh, please, come. Okay, we've got this guy here and then you're next. Do we have a mic for him? Beautiful. So in lieu of me jumping down, I'm gonna have you come right here. I'm gonna talk to you right here. What's your name?
Ricardo.
Ricardo. I'm Grace.
Nice to meet you, Grace.
Nice to meet you. Okay, Ricardo, so here's the framework.
All right.
This is based on a TOAST framework. So you can come talk to me and then I'm gonna have you flip around. So the framework, and this is for everyone, it's 3 parts. If you're in a meeting, it's gonna be a little different and I'll do that one right at the end. But for networking, it's gonna be, what is your function? Not your job story, it's 1 sentence. What do you do? So what do you do?
I make AI.
You make AI.
I do.
You make AI for what?
We have different kinds of POCs that we test out with different clients and even internal projects, so it just depends on what people need.
Infosys. Okay, what are your company, like Infosys? Do you have a bunch of clients in a specific industry?
Well, the hub that I work for in Hartford is mostly insurance and medical, but I mean, we have all sorts of hubs that do all sorts of clients.
Okay, so you want to give people something to connect off of. So you're going to go, and we know this is a heavy insurance crowd, I make AI for insurance companies.
Okay.
Okay. And then your second one is going to be what brought you here today?
Networking mostly.
Networking? What do you want to get out of networking?
Well, the team that I work with, we're constantly trying to, make new technologies for our clients. So it's good to sort of brainstorm with people, get ideas, get a sense of what people need.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to go 3 sentences. So the first one is what we just said. I make AI for insurance companies. The second is I'm here today because I want to network with peers and potential new clients, or however you want to say that. And then the third sentence is going to be what you want to get out of that, so people can know how to come up to you if they want to have that conversation. So is it, I want to talk to people who might be interested in an AI project? Like, what does that potential client look like for you? Or who just want to jam on AI?
Well, that wouldn't be a bad one, but
Okay.
People who are interested in seeing what AI has to offer, I guess would be the simplest, but
Okay.
especially if they have.
Let's actually pull the room since we have the room.
Yeah.
Would you be more interested in someone saying, from like people who are interested in what AI has to offer? That's one here, more what AI has to offer, or anyone who wants to jam on AI and insurance is 2. I can't really see Ricardo. I have a lot of 1s over here. What do you see?
Definitely a lot of ones in this section.
Yeah.
And
And then we're kind of mixed, right?
I see a lot of 1s over here and some 2s in this area.
We got a couple 2. I think we're majority 1s in this room.
I think so too.
Okay, but what that tells you is both are feasible and both work. I'd go with 1 for this room. I'd go with a jam on AI. But that was great information for both of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to tie those together, 3 sentences. No longer, don't add anything. You can improv a little bit if you must, but no longer than 3 sentences. I'm Ricardo, 3 sentences, out to the room.
I have a short memory span.
Okay, so first is what you do.
Oh, yeah.
What brought you here? What kind of networking you want to do?
Okay, so is.
And you're going to go out to the room like you're presenting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Out to the room.
No. Stay right here.
All right.
Just project your energy out to the room.
Right. Hey, everyone, I'm Ricardo. I make AI for insurance companies. I'm interested in networking here today. And what was the third one?
If you want to jam.
Oh, yeah. Seeing if anyone wants to jam on AI.
So come see me if you want to jam on AI.
So come see me if you want to jam on AI.
Yeah! Thank you, Ricardo.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
That was awesome. Very brave to go first. And very brave to go first and get coached, by the way. That is very, very hard. Thank you, Ricardo. Okay, who's next? Please. I'm glad you raised your hand. I was about to start calling on people. What's your name?
Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
I feel like this is a big opportunity just to say it to the whole room.
Hell yes.
If anyone wants to follow me and do that too.
Okay, want to workshop it?
Sure.
Okay, what do you do?
I am a community engagement professional and relationship builder.
Okay, what company are you with?
I am with nobody right now. I am looking for a job.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, so community engagement professional and would you say
Relationship builder.
Okay, I don't like that second one because I think everyone says that. What do you mean about relationship builder? What does that mean
I
to you?
connect people.
Okay.
I do a lot of networking, connections.
You have a big network?
I do.
Okay. I would kind of, listen, take me with a grain of salt.
No, I appreciate any and all feedback. Let's go.
I would kind of say like, I'm really, I'm a community engagement, however you said that, who's really big into networking. Something like that.
Okay.
Why are you here today?
Because I am hoping to network with a cross-section of industries in the Hartford area and make some connections.
Okay, love that. What kind of connections do you want to make?
Oh, that's really tough.
Yeah.
Professional one?
Yes. I think it's also like, how should we phrase this, guys? Okay. She wants to, absolutely not. Never. People who can talk about, I mean, in reality, right? You want to talk to people who help you find jobs, right?
HR?
Yeah. Let me just think. What would make you guys anyone? Okay, you know what?
I mean, it's a big question, right? How do you put out there that you're looking for a new career, you're looking to change industries while also kind of not sounding pathetic?
You're looking to change industries.
Yeah.
Anyone in here changed industries? Okay, that's your golden ticket. I'm looking to talk to people who've successfully changed industries and can tell me a little bit about it.
Beautiful.
Okay, because you want it. It doesn't have to be the perfect. Doesn't have to be the widest net. What will make people come up and talk to you after? Okay, hit it, Danielle.
I'm sorry, I forgot the 3 things.
Okay, okay. You're the community engagement.
Yes.
Yep. And then you're here to network with other professionals, and then the type of networking you want to do.
Awesome. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Mogadam. I am a community engagement professional. I feel like we edited that a little, so I forgot what I am now. I'm a community engagement professional looking to network here, and I'm looking to network with people that have successfully changed industries.
Thank you. Okay. Who else? Please, glasses, button down. What's your name? Connor. Connor. It's my brother's name. All right, Connor, let's workshop. What do you do?
I turn business problems and decisions into answers with data.
Okay, hate it. What's your job title?
Decision sciences. If somebody has a problem, a business decision they need to make, I back up the right answer with data.
That's way better. Okay. I use data to, hold on.
I like the slogan, many people make decisions based on assumptions every day. We do the math.
I like that. What did you say the job title was again?
Decision science. Or you can just call it consulting.
Oh, worse, right? Okay. I would say decision science, which means we use data to back up business decisions or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you here today?
I'm here to network with folks and find out what types of problems they might have that data can solve.
What's your company?
Startup DeCanley's.
Why is everyone's turned around? Is that just a thing that's happened? Is this a test for me? So, it's a startup?
It's
okay.
my consulting.
So are you selling you're selling your services?
Yeah.
So you're looking for clients.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, hold on. What kind of clients are you looking for?
People who are looking for AI solutions. Efficiency, operational efficiency.
Well, you're in competition with Ricardo.
Yes. I'm not beating Infosys, that is.
Okay, so you're a startup,
yeah.
Small team.
Yeah.
How small?
Me and like 2 other contractors.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, that's an interesting spin. Just think for a second. Okay, so you're looking to network with potential clients, but to the point I made earlier, people don't care if you're like, I'm looking for potential clients. They're like, well, I don't care. What would you want to jam on that people might want to connect with you and then get there?
I want to learn more about what types of problems people face. I mean, of the clients so far, it's very random niche things, and I'd like to learn more what other folks are experiencing.
I like that, and I agree with that, but I don't think it's a crowd pull.
Mm-hmm.
Who feels like that's a crowd pull? No. Okay. What do you want someone to in this? Okay, let's just think. Anyone have an idea? You have an idea back here?
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm pretty loud, so I'm using
my
insight. But yeah, so like making decisions that are problem solving. And so when you said that, using data, right? I work with a lot of grants and community and state and federal grants, and you need the data in order to get the money, right? And so just something that came to my mind is like you have 99 problems, but numbers ain't one. like you have an organization can have a bunch of different problems, but getting the data is not one because you're there. Like, or getting the money ain't one because you're gonna get the money by crunching the numbers that they need. So
What's your name?
Luz Holmes Paget.
Luz, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was Luz for, I think, the first part of your introduction. The third part, anyone have any, like, what would, so this is an interesting, it is interesting, and it's boring at a cocktail party, right? What would make this interesting to you at a networking event, cocktail party? What could Connor say that you're like, oh, I want to talk to Connor? Okay. You have an example, Connor?
Yeah, so a simple one is we're looking to increase, there's a process in which somebody is currently doing something on paper. We build a whole tool that's able to make that instant seamless. AI can read it, summarize documents, or you type things in, don't have to click an app.
Okay, you know what,
Those
Connor?
types of
Wait, I have
things.
a new idea. Okay. So you are fairly educated on AI, I assume?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I have this app I've been working with. Don't worry, I'm not going to pitch it against you. It's one of my brand partners, and they just created this AI career bot. They're called Five, that I have been feeding I have 700 LinkedIn DMs right now that I can't even begin to know how to answer. So I've been feeding that bot my DMs and asking which ones it should answer. But they custom made this. Maybe you can say, what's in, let me just think for a second. Hold on. Like something like, if you want me to tell you what the 2 things ChatGPT could do to make your, to like save you 20 minutes in your work tomorrow, something like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make it something more interesting for people. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to know the 3 quickest things you could do to completely save an hour of your day, come talk to me.
Okay, do the whole thing from the beginning.
All right, let's work through it together.
Yeah. No, that was that was perfect.
Yeah.
Now so you're gonna go, I'm Connor, out to the room.
I'm Connor.
Yeah.
I solve problems using data. You got 99 problems, but the numbers ain't one. If you're looking for 3 ways to save in a whole hour of your day using AI, come talk to me.
Hell yeah, I'm coming to talk to you. Thank you. That was really good. Okay, can we do one quick one? Please, right here, vest. I'm so sorry I'm calling you by your clothing. It's like almost all I can say. What's your name? Erin. Erin, I love your outfit.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. What do you do, Erin?
I'm a grant writer.
Oh, cool. Okay. What are you here for?
I'm here to network with other young professionals just entering the field, and also look for potential funders or people who want to know how they can serve their community. I can talk more about what I grant write for. It's very vague.
Okay. So similar to Evernow, you're looking to connect with people who can sort of do something for your business. Do you mean company funders or independent funders?
Both.
What do you write grants for?
So the company I work for is called the Child and Family Guidance Center.
I don't want the whole spiel.
Okay. It's a nonprofit.
Okay.
It's for children's mental health.
Okay. So I think you're coming at the do-good angle for a cocktail party. You want to come at the interesting angle.
Okay.
How long have you been a grant writer?
I started in September.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. What have you learned since September? I mean, persuasive writing is a huge skill. Did you study anything like that in school?
I was international studies.
Okay. So what have you learned about persuasive writing?
I mean, to be honest, I work in a nonprofit. It's hard to get people to want to give out their money.
Yeah. So you're learning about persuasive writing?
Yes.
I assume? Okay. I kind of feel like you should go, I'm Erin. I'm a new grant writer. I'm here to connect with young professionals. By the way, if you need to get someone to agree to something over an email, I have just the phrasing for you. So come talk to me. Like something like that.
Okay.
Is that compelling? Yeah? Okay. Is that genuine to you?
I think so.
Does that make sense, right? Because you want people to come talk to you, get to know you. No one wants, and I say this as someone who sells services, no one cares about your services cold.
Yeah.
They need to care about you, and then they care about the services. So you want to get them to you. You want to get them talking to you before anything else, and then you can sell them. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think I had been having the backwards mindset.
Yep.
So that is maybe more actionable.
Yes. No, but that's totally, that's why I make money. That's because everyone thinks like this. Okay. So Erin, grant writer, here to network with other young professionals. Also really cool. There's a lot of them over here. I already know from the hands. And then is that something you could do? Is like talk to people about some of the persuasive writing tips you've learned?
I think so.
Don't say I think so. Just say
yes.
Yes.
Come talk to me about persuasive
writing.
writing.
Okay, you're gonna go, Erin. So I would do something like if you need to get, I would make it really specific to the effect that you can. Like if you need to get something specific out of someone, I have just the phrasing because this worked for me last week. Something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Erin. I'm a new grant writer and
here to network.
I'm here to network with other young professionals, and if you need to persuade someone to do something, come talk to me. I'll tell you how to make them get it done.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you. Okay. QR code. So if you guys put this in, put your email in, my team will send you a PDF. You also have access to my LinkedIn and my TikTok on there. If you want anything else from me, just ask them, and we'll set you up. Yeah. Sorry, I stole this. I don't know who I stole this from. Someone need that. Oh, are we getting a glare? Oh, thank you. Is that better? No? Anyone still not getting it? Everyone who wants it have it? Yes? Thank you. Thank you, Pete. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much.